Lately, we've been talking a lot about giving back and making the community better. And this week, we talked about the Canadian Foundation for Financial Planning. Let's look into that a bit more detail.
This is Make Better Wealth Decisions, a podcast about financial blind spots, decision making, and how the reality of higher rates, global tensions, and tariff instability impact your investments. I'm your host, John Dego, a portfolio manager with Design Securities in Toronto.
On Thursday, I had a conversation with Carolyn Fallis, who is the new chair of the Canadian Foundation for Financial Planning, which is the CFFP. You can find them at www.cffp.ca to learn more about some of the things I'm about to say right now. I've been involved with the CFFP for some time as well. In fact, I was the person who was the chair of the organization before Carolyn was, when it had more of a research mandate. So this is something which is near and dear to me. I'm a big believer in giving back to the community and financial literacy and helping people make their lives better and more resilient through applied financial planning. One of the problems that is part and parcel with financial planning all around the world is that a lot of people that are well-to-do get financial advice. They know they need it, they get it, they pay for it, and their lives are enhanced as a result. But what about those people who, because they're in a remote community or because they're from a minority which doesn't have access or a culture of financial literacy, for whatever reason, these people, and a lot of people simply just don't have money, don't have access to qualified advice, and people that have modest resources have real needs just like anyone else does. So how do we solve the problem? And that's where the CFFP comes in. And that's where volunteerism, and I know that in a previous episode, I talked about making a difference by making connections and networking. And I know that my next week's guest will be talking more about financial planning from a professional and evidence-based perspective. So these things all tie together. What we're looking at right now is how can the world be better? And the Canadian Foundation for Financial Planning is very much a part of that. What they're doing is they're trying to bring people who are qualified, these are certified financial planners from all around the country, to volunteer to do work on what is effectively a pro bono basis for people who need financial advice, who for whatever reason don't get it. These people have oftentimes very basic needs. Help me to understand how a credit card works. What can I do to pay down my debt? How can I budget even in a modest way? Things like this that a lot of people would otherwise think are not even wealth decisions, but that are just part and parcel with proper wealth management, are things that certain people in the community have never been taught and have never felt that they needed to know until it became clear to them that they could use some help because they're not doing things as well as they might and as well as other people are doing. Having organizations like the CFFP make the world a better place. And whether you are a person who needs qualified financial advice, who can get it through a qualified financial advisor, a certified financial planner, an advisor, a portfolio manager, that's great if you're one of those people. And I would encourage you to learn and to do all you can to become more financially savvy and to make better wealth decisions on your own or with someone as a coach. But if you're the sort of person who knows that they need some financial advice and some coaching, but they don't know where to get it and they don't really have the wherewithal to pay for it, then I would encourage you to go to the CFFP website and to see if you can find a way to hook up with a qualified planner who can perhaps help you move along. One last thing. If you're a person who's listening to this and you think this is a great initiative, as I do, you can do what I do and give them some money. So the CFFP is a registered charity. You'll get a tax receipt for whatever money you give. You can make it as a lump sum. You can make it as a regular monthly contribution. But the CFFP is a wonderful organization that deserves support, and it is doing a lot of good in the world of finance, which is something that's, let's face it, a little bit rare these days.
This podcast is not to be construed as offering specific investment advice. Please consult a qualified advisor before acting. My books, Stand Up to the Financial Services Industry and Bullshift, are available online. If you'd like to meet to discuss how the topics in this podcast affect you directly, please visit my website.